Okay then, here we are with the final chapter of this series on how to improvise using foreign scales and chords. So let's get right down to business. How to improvise with a foreign scale. Right, well, when you improvise with a foreign scale, you must use the whole scale and not just a part of it. You must leave the scale intact and not change any of the notes or drop in a semitone. If you change any of the notes or drop in any semitones, you lose the tonal quality or color of the scale. For example, if you take the Spanish Gypsy scale that you saw in workshop number 13 and change any of the notes, it wouldn't sound like the Spanish Gypsy scale anymore, and you lose the beauty of the scale. And this applies to using the modes of the major scale as well. You know, in the key of G, if you use the mode, say starting on B, and you played B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, you must use the whole scale, otherwise you don't get the tonal effect. Right? So, what's the moral of the story? When you use a foreign scale or a mode, play the whole scale and do not change any of the notes or insert any semitones in the run, or you will lose the beauty and the originality of the scale. Okay? If you want to use chromaticism, you know, use it on the original major scale, okay? But leave the foreign scales and the modes intact. All right. Now, how to improvise with a foreign chord? Well, here's what you do. Extend the chord. Let's suppose you are using G major. Extend the G major chord as far as you like, let's say perhaps to G11, right? Which notes would be G, B, D, F sharp, A, C. Play these notes and see if you like them, right? If you don't like them, fool around and change some of the notes, you know, some other notes again, until you find a combination, a run that you like. And then when you do, memorize it and most certainly write the notes down and use this riff or this phrase in your improvisation as you go along. There's another secret that I'm going to pass to you. It is a website whereby you can enter notes on a piano keyboard, press the button and listen to them and hear how they sound. And if I may say so, this is a wonderful tool towards developing phrases that will help you in your improvisations. Of course, you know, you can play any notes that you want on your instrument, whatever your instrument may be. But if you just enter these notes on the piano keyboard on this site that I'm going to give you, all you got to do is press the button and hear how they sound. And if you don't like them, you can change them up. So you can actually create runs, you know, on this virtual keyboard. And you don't only can only create runs on it, but when you would enter the notes of what you might say is the chord, you have a little window there that gives you the name of the chord. Okay? Take a note and go to this site and visit with it. www.chords.com Gootar, GOOTAR.com. And when the page opens, look for the little heading that says Pocket Piano and click on it, and you're off and running. Now, when you're working with a song, you often find that there are songs where the chords are changing very quickly. Maybe maybe two chords in a bar for several bars, right? And when you have these quick changes of chords, obviously you can't play all the notes of the chords. So what you might have to do is to pick out one or two notes from a chord, over the series of bars, and link them together so that you have an improvisation that goes over the distance. Now, don't be fooled unless you look at the chords beforehand and prepare a run. To be able to do this on the fly takes quite a bit of doing, quite a bit of experience and technique, right? And let me just go on to say that you will find that there are some songs where there is one chord over several bars, right? What you can do with that chord is you can extend it as far as you like to a 9th or a 13th or however far you want to go, and according to your design, you can sharpen or flatten some of the notes, or you can insert semitones and work out a nice a nice phrase for the period based on the chord structure, right? Well, these are just some ideas, of course, but ideas that good musicians use. And what I would say to you is this: you're either going to progress or you're going to stay in first grade. But I know what you're going to do. You're going to progress. You have your whole life before you. So just take it easy, one step at a time. Practice, don't get frustrated, and soon you'll be taking your place alongside the greats. By the way, how do you think the greats got where they are? Well, not just from sitting down and doing nothing, if you understand. You know. Right, so when it comes to improvising a song, take the time from the way the songs are composed, just as you have found out that songs are composed with sections, whether you want to call it the A section, the B section, or whatever. These sections contrast one another, right? And so therefore, when you are setting about your improvisation, start off using whatever scale you want, and then just as the structure of a song changes, so too do you change your platform as you go along. And what you will do is you start on one scale and switch into another, right, and then come back to the first one or go on to another according to you feel your inclination is. And this is the way that you build beautiful improvisations. Now, my time is getting up, and there's a lot more that I have for you and for this last chapter on this topic. So I'm going to have to put this stuff in the sidebar. Look up there, find more info written in blue, click on it. I'm putting some aphorisms and other stuff there for you. Please study this thing and print off these notes. Easier to study when you print them off. Okay? Enjoy your music. Have fun. Be patient and practice.